What's up, my peoples? You are now tuned in to another episode of Mental Telepathy's Arena. And basically, we're going to delve into the show for the sake of our youth. And we're going to speak on what else is there going on, but the fact that the world is burning and the cities are on fire. You feel me? So we're going to delve into the analytical aspects of the game, because of, a lot of the times these racist white governments they like to blame black people for the shit that they've been doing. Yeah, I gotta pause because I'm on a bus. Like I told you in my previous video, they try to play the agent provocateur role, trying to play the reactionary role, trying to get a nigga to stick something in their throat, trying to get a nigga in jail before he get to his destination. But anyway, we're gonna analyze the situation like this, man. On these little protesters that they going on, the government is sending out their little undercover agent white supremacist motherfuckers to sabotage the black movement and everything of that nature. You feel me? And a lot of like, when I analyze it, a lot of black people, they just let anybody infiltrate their mental, they infiltrate their movement. And most of these things, most of these situations that's going on is basically, it's a sabotage of the black movement. Whenever you let these people infiltrate your movement like that and start burning down shit, that's because them niggas want their own, they trying to get those businesses their own insurance money, stimulus checks, and a bunch of shit like that. So basically, what you gotta understand is that if you can't, if black people cannot struggle together alone, the movement ain't gonna never go nowhere. So basically, when they say that, no, they come on TV and they try to label us the one is the burning down shit, that's not true at all, man. The fact of the matter is that a lot of them groups that's in the movement is basically sent by the government and sent by the police and sent by the feds to burn that shit down so that the business owners could get their stimulus checks, so they could get their insurance money, and that's all the plot to it, man. And basically they playing on the emotions of people who just, this is why I don't integrate with them. I just like Dr. Umar, I don't do integrating protests either. I don't integrate with them niggas because I know a bunch of them motherfuckers be undercover white supremacists, racist ass redneck motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? And they be on that shit where they try to act like, like I said, the blatant outright racists and the undercover racists is the same motherfuckers. They all for the same thing, man. They act like they on that. Don't let, when they in New York and when they in LA, they try to tiptoe past a motherfucker. But when you get out in these motherfucking Pacific Northwest and these little towns like Idaho and shit like that, they start showing their true colors. You feel me? Because they got the police trying to ride behind them, say, yo, see if you can get a reaction out that nigga so we can get him in jail. You feel me? And that's what they do, man. So this is why I come to locations like that to analyze these motherfuckers. Just like your enemies study you gotta study your enemies. Because like I say, they don't give a fuck about black people, man. They don't care nothing about black people. But when you get out in these locations like this shit right here, you can catch them niggas caught up on their emotions. Just like they try to get you on your mind. Nah, don't even react to that shit unless they try to force the issue. But if they try to force the issue, do what you gotta do, man. Motherfucker try to force the issue, he gonna make headlines. Him and the nasty bitches that he's with. But like I'm saying, man, these protesters gotta basically be organized by us, man. If it's your movement and if it's you, every day you wake up and it's your children's life that's in jeopardy, and if it's your life that's in jeopardy, then basically don't nobody else, every other culture ain't gonna give a fuck about that, because all of this is being done as we see it, as history has proven over and over and over, even with video proof and all that shit, that these motherfuckers ain't gonna never stop being no racist motherfuckers. So why would you even go for that shit this time? That's my motto. The blatant racists and the outright and the undercover racists are the same motherfuckers, man. They just use the undercover racists to infiltrate your mental, to try to play on your emotions, to try to make you think you got some motherfucking white friends. Like a bunch of these motherfuckers be running around and talking about, yo, no, I got white people, they do, they do this and they do that for me. That's bullshit. Because when they get out here and you get out there in the Pacific Northwest and you get out there in the West, you catch, that's when you see the motherfuckers really showing they motherfucking colors. That's when you really show them they motherfucking colors. And I know because I'm well traveled. I travel through every state. And this is why I travel, because I do experiments like they do experiments, human experiments. Because you gotta study your enemies, man. When you, and like Malcolm X once said, traveling broadens the mind. You get to know how they think in different geographical locations, man. So nah, you let them get caught up on their little emotions, man. That's how you catch them, man. A lot of them ain't intelligent, man. They play that shit like they the most intelligent. Motherfuckers ain't smart at all, man. Only thing that makes them look good is that they dealing with a systematic game. That's the only thing that makes them look intelligent, man. Bunch of them motherfuckers are stupid, no education, broke ass niggas. Ain't got shit. On some real shit. And they just and the thing is, now that God's wrath is upon them, and they running out of money, their businesses is shut down and all this shit, they losing billions of dollars every day. This is part of God's wrath, man. And they think they could defy that shit by being pathological. Feel me? But they gonna learn slowly but surely. This is how God works. He shapes and molds it slowly but surely. To show them, listen, man, your arms are too short to box with God. And this is what they gonna find out. Gradually, as time goes on, and their money start dwindling, and their dollar bill starts declining more and more and more, money become obsolete, and them niggas become broke again, they gonna start to realize, man, God is bringing you to your knees. And whether you submit willingly or unwillingly, you are going to submit. And that's what they don't understand. This is why he said in the Bible, I hated the Edomites. This is what he called white people in the Bible. It was called Edomites. He said, I hated the Edomites, so I drove them to the deepest recesses of the Caucasus Mountains to live as savages for years. Because they pathological people, man. From the smallest to the broadest scale. This is why they so racist. Because they are pathological people. They live by the rules of engagement, and they absolutely have no souls and no conscience, because that's what white supremacy requires. So when they do shit to you, they don't have no conscience about it, you know what I'm saying? And the only way they're gonna do it is when they they're gonna do it in a cowardly way through a systematic game. Or if they got you in an isolated area, you know, they got a few house niggas lined up and shit like that. That's the only way they're gonna try to come at you. Because basically, this is what you gotta listen to. Basically, you gotta connect everything from what God says to what these people are saying on earth. You can't take too much of this shit and on faith value. You got to connect it to the Bible, the Torah, and the Quran, and understand how these people actually work. They know They don't worship no God. They worship their God is money. This is why they run all over the world, killing up people all over the world, raping, robbing, stealing, cheating, lying. This is what they do by nature. So basically, the thing is that whenever you have a protest, you got to organize that protest, and it can't always be about marching and singing old Negro spirituals. See, that's the good thing about these protesters right here. Even though they were infiltrated by government agents to set fires and shit like that, the part that you should learn from it, there's a blessing from every lesson. The blessing that you should get from that, and the lesson that you should learn is that there comes a point in everybody's life and time where you have to, you have to use more than just non-violence. You have to basically, whenever you protest, you got to get violent with these motherfuckers. If they killing you, it says like it says in the Bible, the Torah, and the Quran, an eye for an eye, a head for a head, a life for a life. And the only ones that don't like you teaching that type of teaching is the wolf. Is the wolf who intends to make you his next meal. This is what you gotta understand, man. You got too many people out here, man, that don't give a fuck about our race, man. And it's basically not their fault. It's our fault. Because as I was in the protest up in Minnesota, when the protest that I just left, as you seen in my last video, I was watching the whole thing, man. It was basically, first thing I noticed about the protesters, that it was mad organized and the police was ill prepared for the whole shit. The police was ill prepared for the whole first 4 days. And I said, damn, I said to myself, yo, this shit is a little too organized, because they was hitting these motherfuckers in waves. Every time they would go protect the auto zone, these niggas go down the block and do some other shit. This is how I knew that it was government agents, because it wasn't no random niggas off the streets protesting. You feel me? This is why, if you look at my last video I put out when I was on the front lines out there and showing you all the damage that's being done, I was basically doing analytical research, man. And I was watching these niggas. I was like, yo, man, this shit is being sabotaged, and the motherfuckers who setting the fires is the white motherfuckers. If you notice that they ain't arrest nobody but setting fires. How many times do you know that the police would actually let somebody set fire to the police station? They killing black people for way less than that. How many times have you seen them let somebody set fire to a police station and just let it be? Isn't there something suspicious about that? Because these was government agents that was sent to infiltrate. This is what you gotta understand. You can't always act on your emotions. You gotta do analytical research. I'm standing right there. I'm out there. This is why I went to Minnesota first. This is why I was glad to be right there at the tip of the iceberg before all that shit exploded nationwide. Because basically I wasn't even planning on going. What happened is that I was headed to a destination, and Minnesota was the layover. I fucked around and went to the store, and my bus left me. So they told me I had to wait for 48 hours for the next bus. So I said, fuck it, why? If I'm here, God is talking to me. Go ahead up out there, jump in the water. So I jump out there in the water to see what's really happening. Because I used to live in Minnesota for a while, so I said, I know the layout. So the first place I go is to St. Paul. Early in the morning, these niggas they doing their thing. So I said, all right, let's get with it. But then I'm know as I'm going on and I'm watching, I'm saying, yo, this shit is a little too. This shit is organized confusion, man. They organize it. They organizing this confusion right here. And this ain't no random niggas off the streets just acting out on their emotions. Because they had the police ill prepared for the whole situation. Even though I know they're a little more softer than LA PD and New York PD, you know, they would have been more ready for this shit. But my thing is, man, back to the essence of the conversation. You have to understand before you overstand of how these people work, man. When they seen that situation, that whole shit, that the killing of George Floyd wasn't no random act, man. They don't act out randomly, man. All that shit was to play on black people's emotions so they could use these niggas to sabotage it and infiltrate the movement and get a jump on the movement and basically do what they did. They wanted to get these white people that new stimulus package so they get them to burn down their businesses because it wasn't like they was gonna open up anyway. It was not like they was gonna be able, and if they did open up, they wasn't gonna be able to open up to fullest capacity. So all that shit was just a ploy. The killing of George Floyd, that was not a random act. That was all part of a plot. This is how they get down, man. This is why I tell you, white people, they don't have no conscience. These niggas, when they do shit in the sake of white supremacy. Them niggas don't have no souls and none of that shit. And I won't be surprised that when their reign comes to an end, and their reign is coming to an end real soon, because God's wrath is heavy. Their whole shit is crumbling as we speak. Everywhere you go, they shit is shut down. Millions of them niggas have lost their jobs. They ain't got shit now. Where they used to look down on you, look down on the have-nots, a bunch of them motherfuckers are the have-nots. A bunch of them motherfuckers are the dope fiends and meth head ass niggas. Yeah, that shit is killing their ass right now. You know why? Because God's wrath is heavy. And when karma comes back around, trust me, my nigga, it don't feel good at all. So my thing is, whenever our people get into whenever you get in start protesting, you have to analyze the situation, man. Because all they did was that killing of George Floyd, that shit was a no random act, man. All that shit was a ploy to get these motherfuckers they stimulus money so they can, because they businesses was not going to succeed. They was losing billions of dollars every day, man, and they still losing that shit. All that shit was, burn down my business so I could get the insurance money. Yeah, I used to see Puerto Ricans do that shit when I used to be in the Bronx, and them niggas used to get their little Puerto Rican friends to burn down their businesses so they can get the insurance money. That's why you see all these niggas setting fires. I'm standing right there in the middle of Minnesota the whole shit when the whole time as the shit was going on. Yeah, and you gotta stay analytical. You can't always act on your emotions. Like a wise man once said, he says, emotions is one of the biggest drugs ever presented to mankind, man. Emotions is one of the biggest drugs ever presented to mankind, and that's what they did in this situation. So one thing you gotta understand, man, is that you should never fear the one who can lead you to the hellfire, but fear the one who can put you in it and leave you there. And be careful what type of media you listen to. Be careful what type of media you listen to. Be careful what type of media you listen to. Whether it be the news, whether it be social media, or just a nigga whispering in your ear. Because it can have you hating the oppressed and loving those who are doing the oppressing. And this is what you gotta understand, man. And this is what they're doing. They feed you false media to manipulate you and make you love your oppressors. To love those who are doing the oppressing. And that's what black people are so caught up on doing. They love those who are doing the oppressing. They love the drug dealer niggas. They love the street gang niggas. All these niggas, you go to the hood, that's those the motherfuckers that they love. All the motherfuckers who's in criminal enterprises, the government, the crooked government, all these motherfuckers. Yeah. It's the mind of the black man is sick. And this is what you gotta understand, man. Think before you act. And think and be careful of who you walk besides, man. You gotta be careful of who you walk beside. Because not everybody with a smile and a handshake, that handshake very seldomly matches that smile. That smile very seldomly matches that handshake, man. And that's what a lot of black people don't understand, because when the people are dealing with self-hatred, one of the biggest symptoms is that they reach out to every other culture to be accepted on a social status, to the point where they'll fuck over their own people. So this is what makes black people so susceptible to joining forces with their enemies, and don't even understand that they being sabotaged, man. And this is what happened in this movement as this shit exploded nationwide, man. But nevertheless, man, you have been in tune with another episode of Mental Telepathy's Arena, and I am your host and lyrical genius, Black Titanium. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, but do whatever you feel, man. And I'm gonna be praying for you and your families, man, because this is only the tip of the iceberg, man. This is only the tip of the iceberg, man. This is what they don't understand. They think, you know, this shit is, you bear witnessing to biblical events around the world, man. The calm before the storm. This is just the tip of the iceberg, man. A lot of these motherfuckers. And this is what you gotta understand, man. It's gonna get way worse before it gets better, man. I hate to sound like a pessimist, but trust me, it's gonna get way worse before it gets better. This is why I travel out into different locations, man. Because when you go out there in the Pacific Northwest and out these little small states and shit like that, a lot of them black people, they need help, man. So that what they do, because of the fact that they outnumbered, they gotta suck up to these white people for jobs. They gotta snitch on each other. They gotta fuck over each other, and that's not to be condemned. You have to understand that they are outnumbered. So basically, if you go out there in the Pacific Northwest, you see a lot of them niggas riding with straight white supremacist motherfuckers, man. Real talk. And the house nigga, if you walk by, the house nigga will be the first one to talk about you, man. Be the first one to say something out their mouths, because they trying to be accepted on the social status. So they try to belittle you so that they can seem bigger in the eyes of their slave masters. But that's a whole nother video. We're gonna talk about that, man. Because that's got to be emphasized over and over and over again. Even though it basically really does not have to, because we're at the end of the game right now. The game is almost over, man. That's what a lot of these motherfuckers don't realize. It don't matter how racist you are. You could be as racist as you want. You could be as corrupt as you want. The fact of the matter, man, is that the game is almost the game. We at the end of the game, and they shit is crumbling. They running around like chickens with their heads cut off trying to save this shit. They got to go to war and everything. It's going to be a war with China. It's going to be a civil war, all that shit. That's what all of this shit is going to lead to. They think that he's in control of everything, but God is really in control of this shit, man. He shaped and molded this shit, because this is how it was written in Revelations. We bear witness into the days of Revelations, man. Biblical events. You may think that man is in control, but nah. God is in control of this, man. And that's what a lot of them don't understand, but they're going to find out gradually and slowly but surely, man. That's why I sit back. You never got to worry about getting revenge against these niggas because God is speaking on your behalf right now. If you a person like me, one of those who strive for righteousness, the godly, God is speaking on your behalf right now. He's showing you, yo, listen, man. They can say what they want to. They can do what they want to. But guess what? Look at the world. Just look around. Look at the world with the situation that they in right now. Real talk. Just look. All you gotta do is take a look around, man. They think they in that all that shit about them sending agents to burn shit down. That shit is that. That's not. They not in control of none of that, man. God is in control of all of that. And this is what they gonna find out, man. Your arms are too short to box with God. No matter how pathological you are. And when he sends his wrath, you can't build through it, you can't build over it, and you're not gonna be able to build around it. You're gonna submit willingly or unwillingly. And if you choose to submit unwillingly, you're gonna suffer on this earth and in the hellfire. So they laugh now, but guess what? Everything that they have sown, their children have to inherit everything that's coming. The storm that's coming, their children have to inherit that shit. This is who's going to inherit the youth. These niggas are going to die off. The evil ones are going to die off, man. And their children are going to inherit everything that's coming, man. This is why I speak for the sake of the youth, the black youth. Because these days right here, right now that you are bear witnessing to are the days of revelations, man. The end game. The pale white horse has been unleashed on these niggas. And they don't even understand it. Because that's what God says. He said you can talk to them till you blue in the face. Only time they gonna understand is on the day of judgment when I pull the wool from over their eyes and show them their shame. And that's when they're going to be begging for a second chance. That's when they're going to beg for a second chance. And nope, they're going to get dropped right off into the hellfire. So that's just a little food for thought. With that being said, man, you have bear witness to another episode of Mental Telepathy's Arena. And I am your host and lyrical genius, Black Titanium. You can also check me out at www.reverb, that's REVERB nation.com/performing art. Peace, I'm out.